What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are back in Australia. First and foremost, I want to say I appreciate you guys for always tuning in and checking out the content and being here for you, boy. Yeah, we back with Australia answer most commonly Googled questions about Australia. Now, her channel definitely she got the it factor. She got the it factor. I feel like she brings some humor to it. Very funny. So we finna check this out and see the most commonly Googled questions about Australia. I wonder what's the most. I did some questions that most people ask about America, or foreigners, if you live outside of America, what the question that people ask me. I did that, but I found another one, and it's simple but interesting question. So definitely can't wait to see about Australia. I'm sure it's gonna be something. I know for a fact one is gonna be about kangaroos. I know for a fact, but before we jump into this, hey, y'all can follow me on social media, your boy, on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I got a Patreon, and I've been doing movies and stuff like that, movies and TV shows that y'all been recommending. I've been trying to find out. I finally figured out and found some, and I got a few movies and TV shows on there so far, so y'all should go check those out. Of course, that's without all that copyright stuff. Then I want to give a shout out to the Patreon. I got 2 so far, y'all. Shout out to Darian Neal and Miss Tick 1. I got D Neal. Appreciate you. That's my brother right there. Miss Tick, I don't know. I seen they from Australia, so that's dope. I got my first Aussie supporter. All of you still support, even just with watching the videos, but I appreciate that, y'all took the support even further, and on the Patreon, I appreciate y'all so much. But we finna jump into this. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Hey, send down those recommendations. Let's check it out.
Alright, so I recently made a video where I answered the most commonly Googled questions about women as a woman. And in that video, I mentioned that I didn't want to make the Australian equivalent of that video. So naturally, you guys asked me to, and naturally, I'm going to do it anyway. Your girl is a little bit sick at the moment, so just ignore the whole voice situation. All right, let's get on the old Google machine. Oh, it's the fall equinox today. Great. I reckon we can start with why do Australians say mate?
Say mate. It's their thing, I feel. It's their thing,
Great start. You know what? Let's Google it. Mateship as devotion to the nation and convict history. Look, I don't think that's why Australians say mate. An etiquette lesson on using the term mate in Australia, written by Paula McKinley. Number 1, men use mate, women capitalize.
I feel like when I heard mate, anytime I hear it, even on movies, I automatically think Australia. That's your own thing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's how I distinguish where that person is from. If I hear mate, I automatically know where you're from. I was watching a movie, Kaleidoscope or something like that. Now, I don't know if the guy was Australian or not, but he used mate. There was one guy, he used mate a lot. And I'm like, is he playing like an Australian character, or is he from Australia? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that's y'all's. Nobody can take that from you. Nobody.
Never do. Paula, do I have some news for you? Men should never ever say mate to a woman, or you're likely to get slapped down or hated forever after.
What do you call a woman?
Paula doesn't seem to know what she's talking about, and that still doesn't answer why we use the term mate. I don't fucking know, alright? Why do Australians celebrate Australia Day? I'm not even touching that.
Australia Day, I've been hearing about that.
Australians celebrate Christmas with heat stroke and alcoholism.
Oh my God.
That's pretty spot on. We sit in 30 to 40 degree heat. Sometimes there's a cyclone. That's happened once. I think it was only a category 3, but that was the one year it wasn't hot for Christmas. But despite the fact that we're sitting effectively in a pile of sweat, we still eat all of the traditional foods that British people and Americans eat. Hot winter food, roasts and shit. Doesn't make any sense. How do Australians talk? Not very well. How do Australians say Merry Christmas? Why is that a popular search? How do Australians dress? Like shit. I think Australian dress sense swings wildly from super bogan and barely dressed at all to really nicely dressed. You can walk down the street and have one person be really well put together, really nice and clean, super stylish, and then the next person has more holes in their pants than they have teeth in their mouth. They've got a bum bag and no shoes.
I feel like that's isn't that everywhere? I feel like that's a thing that's everywhere. You have your people, they dressed up nice. You have some people that just, comfortably dressed. Then you have some people that just didn't care what they put on today, type of thing. I guess one thing I don't see here in the States is people not having shoes. I seen some video. Now, I know some of y'all said not everybody do it, but I seen some videos and some Australian, somebody was in the store getting something out the store, with no shoes on. Here in the States, I never seen a sign that said no shoes, no shirt, no service type thing, but I think it was a thing before. I never seen the sign, like me personally, but they probably had.
How do Australian elections work? You have to vote or you get a fine and then you vote.
Oh.
So, happy election day. There's two major parties, there's Liberal and Labor. Liberal is not Liberal, it's Conservative, and Labor is more of a Liberal party. Good luck with that. And then there's like the independent parties, there's like the Australian Greens as well, which is the environmental, doing a lot of good shit party. You can Google the rest yourself. Do Australians need a visa for Bali? You actually don't if it's for less than like
Bali.
30 days or something. You should double check that before going. Do Australians like Americans? Yeah, as a whole, but your government and like some of your people are a bit fucked. You have much bigger pizza sizes than we have though, so you're doing that right. We don't even get an option, it's just small, and that's the size.
What size is this
meet
pizza?
Up and take notes. You can have our gun control ideas and we'll take your pizza. Does Australia have nukes? Don't think so. What would Australia do with nukes? Really, what would we be doing with them? Does Australia have freedom of speech? Not as a right, no, we actually don't. There's definitely like an implied freedom of speech here, but we also have like hate speech laws and things like that, which can't exist if freedom of speech exists. Some people think not having freedom of speech as a specific written out right is a bad thing, but Australia doesn't even have a Bill of Rights at all. I think freedom of speech is a really good idea in theory, and I think you should definitely be free to talk about things, especially politically. And there shouldn't be like this
I feel like, don't people still get in trouble for hate speech? If we have freedom of speech here in the States, I feel like I've heard of people get in trouble for hate speeches or get fired from their job for saying something. That don't make sense to me.
Shutting down of conversation just because someone is uncomfortable or someone disagrees with it. And you can disagree with having hate speech laws as even being a thing, and that's an argument that you can have, but true freedom of speech can't even exist alongside things like defamation laws. Or laws, for example, that say you can't go up and threaten people. You can't walk up to people and threaten to kill them, even though that is technically freedom of speech, because that's their right to be safe.
It's called a threat. That's why I never understand the freedom of speech thing that we have. I've seen so many people get in trouble from just stating their opinion, not a fact, just opinion. It's crazy.
As well. Crazy. So that's where I think like true freedom of speech in theory, yeah, great idea, but in practice doesn't actually work. Yeah. Does Australia have rabies?
What?
Does Australia have rabies? Rabies virus does not currently occur in land-dwelling animals in Australia. Sweet. There is a virus called ABLV related to the rabies virus, which you can get from bats, though. Don't go rolling around in bat shit and you'll be fine. Does Australia have alligators? Alligators are for pussies. We've got crocodiles.
We got something bigger. We got the bigger reptile.
The scariest fucking animal on the planet as well, in my opinion, the saltwater crocodile. There's a bunch of documentaries on YouTube about the evolutionary adaptations of saltwater crocodiles. I shit you not, they are not of this earth, except there's so much of this earth that they are way better at it than anyone else on the planet. They are fucked.
I seen the crocodile place that y'all had. I don't know why it slipped my mind. I forgot, Crocosaurus, Croco Planet, whatever it's called. I need to search it up. Actually, I still need to do a video on that. But them crocodiles are huge. Those things are huge. Like, I don't know. That, like, here in America, we have Jaws. I don't know if y'all ever seen Jaws. We have the Meg, so we got pretty big fish. We got big sharks. We need a croc movie or something. If y'all got one in Australia, y'all need to send it to me. Like, who is the crocodile Jaws of Australia? Like, I know there's some alligators bigger than Jaws.
They are fucked.
Gotta
be. They can survive anything. If we don't destroy the planet, even if we do, they're still going to be here. I respect their hustle. I'm proud of them, but I'm shit scared of saltwater crocodiles. Does Australia Post deliver on weekends? Australia Post barely delivers anything ever. Does Australia have volcanoes? No. There are no volcanoes.
There aren't?
There's no volcanoes. Does Australia get... Holy shit, okay. Alright, let's answer these. Does Australia get tornadoes, earthquakes, hurricanes, tsunamis, snow, cold, taxed on lotto, any snow, snow in winter, or much snow? The answer to all of those is yes. Does Australia have free healthcare? Better believe it. When I broke my foot, which is doing really well, thank you guys for asking, I can kind of walk normally again. But when that happened, I hobbled straight into a hospital, and within an hour had been x-rayed, seen by a doctor, given the shoe thing, and hobbled right back out. So, and have had free checkups since then. Does Australia have winter? If you're in like the Northern Territory or Northern Queensland, not really. If you're in Brisbane, barely anymore. When I moved to Brisbane 5 years ago, we had like a very cold winter for my standards, which is still not cold for like Melbourne standards. But last winter, I shit you not, was just not cold except for 2 days. And that was when I was at Splendor, and that wasn't even in Queensland. It was technically in New South Wales. And winter started like a month and a half late, and it finished super early. So I don't even think we really have a winter anymore. Can Australia defend itself? Probably not. We have like a lot of coastline, and a lot of it's very hospitable to like people coming in, but we can't defend all of that. Good luck. Why do you think we sit down here with New Zealand and just don't start shit with anyone? We just make friends with people with nukes and hope for the best. Will Australia become a republic? Dunno. Will Australia go to war?
Don't know.
I think we're in a lot of wars at the moment that we really have nothing to do with. Will Australia be invaded? Probably. Will Australia run out of water? I mean, everyone will at some stage, but we have so many. We've got like more dams than Germany, so we are set.
I didn't know that.
Unless you're in the wrong spot, then you're fucked. Will Australia go into recession? We didn't during the GFC. We probably will though. It's us. Why is Australia so hot? The sun. Why is Australia so expensive? It's really hard to get anything here. We live on an island in the middle of nowhere.
I ain't gonna lie. I've been looking, searching for tickets and stuff. Because no matter what I tried the tips and tricks and all that stuff. A flight to Australia is expensive, but somebody told me I need to go to like somewhere in Asia. Fly somewhere to Asia. Then your flight to, I think the flight to Australia would be like $200. I did that. I think like Singapore, Philippines or something like that. You know who you are. You told me if you're watching this, you were like, hey, dog, book a flight, a one-way ticket to like Philippines or something like that, and then come to Australia. That way, you know, it's cheaper. And I seen it. I'll probably save about $500-$600 more. So Australia is expensive. Australia really is.
Why is Australia Post so slow? Honestly, don't even get me started. Why is Australia's internet so slow? I'm finishing this video. It's gonna get me riled up. So there's some cool facts you can take with you in your daily life. Leave in the comments below what you would like me to answer commonly Googled questions on behalf of in the future. That did make sense. It's actually really fun. I learned a lot about things that I didn't really want to know about. Make sure you subscribe. I give shout outs every video to people who subscribe, put the bell on, and then leave a comment telling me that they've done it. These are the shout outs from the last video where I talked about actually how I broke my foot. So if you're interested in that, go click something. It's also in the description. First up, we've got Luca Perugini. That sounds Italian. Perugini. Ah, I want pasta now. Shit. Then we've got Lachlan with just a space between all the letters, who's been here since the Ruckus days. Thank you, dude, for sticking around. Then we've got Catherine Tillery. And last up, we've got the Diver Dude. Thank you guys so much for having your notifications on. If you've watched this far, go follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, what else? I don't know what else is down there. Twitter, if you want to see me ranting at 3 a.m. I'll see you guys in a few days with a new video. Don't swim with saltwater crocodiles.
For real.
You're gonna do that. Sure you won't. Bye.
Okay, this was good. 3 Aussies versus 1 monkey. That sounds interesting. But no, this was good. Yeah, isn't it strange the question that people have for different countries? You know, some of them are very reasonable, very interesting. But like somebody said, why is it so hot in Australia? The sun, that's a good one. Just because like the sun make everywhere hot. But sometimes the sun be out and it still be cold too. So at least here, you know what I'm saying. But I enjoyed this. Hope y'all did as well. As I mentioned, y'all can follow me on, social media and stuff like that. Follow me on social media. If you want to sign up for the Patreon, support your boy. I appreciate that. Like I said, do some different movies and TV shows. You can cast your vote on there as well. Shout out to my Patreon, Darianelle Mystic 1. I appreciate it. But that's all I have for this video. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Send out more recommendations. Give this video a thumbs up. Y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.